I was in Arkansas recently, there to support my son. He's 17, gonna be 18 now. So I am there to support him as he turns into a man, or 18, whatever comes first. Seems to be doing well. I wasn't there to support him when he was being born. I tried to be, but I was in jail for bigamy. That was not very supportive of me. It's okay though, because I tried to tell him what had happened. I tried to tell him, like, before I went to jail for bigamy, before he was born, I tried to support him, but it didn't work out. And so I started trying to tell him a story about what had happened, but it involved his mom, and he didn't want to hear the drama, so I couldn't tell the whole story, but I will tell it now. The last time I had a son, and there was a lot of drama in that relationship, and I said, you know, I'm not going to tell him anything about what happened between me and his mom, or why we broke up, until he turns 18, and he's mature enough to hear it, because that's what I thought a good parent did. And then he turned 18, and he was like, no, you're a crappy dad, I don't want to hear your bullshit stories. And so I didn't get to tell him clearly. I believe his mom did not wait till he was 18 to tell him what had happened, or her side of the story. I think that was just me. I think I made a mistake. I probably should have tried to tell him before he turned 18, maybe not. Well, eventually I talked him into letting me tell him the story, because I thought it was fitting, because I was bringing him to church, this evangelical church. I can't say the name of it, but it was where this thing had happened. I'm like, no, I'm not going to. I used to love your mom. I have no ill will. It wasn't her fault. It was my fault. I did it. I did it to myself. Just hear me out. This is going to be good. It's going to be a good story. So I would tell that story about the last time she moved out. Your mom moved out because she must have found out about the bigamy thing, and her parents weren't happy, and no one in her family was happy, and she was pregnant with you. And I was like, okay, well, this is not going well. She's moved out. Maybe I can fix things. So I tried to go to church, because we would go to church together. I would go there to change diapers for free. She would go there to take care of kids for money. We were in the same little church. We took care of kids at church. She did it for money. I volunteered because I just like kids, but she loves kids too. I'm sure she would have done it for free, but why not take the money if you could take the money? So I went to that church, and then when we broke up, I was like, okay, maybe I should get my life together. Maybe I should go and find Jesus and to confess my sins, and get back with your mom and be a better guy, and then I can be a husband and a father, because because you were not born yet. You were going to be born. And so one day I decided to walk from the apartment she had moved out and in with her mom. And so one day I decided to walk to the church to go to church, to find Jesus. And because clearly I was a bigamist, and that was a sin, and it had caused problems. So on the way to church, someone had stopped to pick me up, a very attractive girl in a car. And she asked me if I wanted a ride, and I got in, and I said, yeah, I do want a ride. And then so we started driving, and she said, where are you going? And I said, to church. And then I began to tell her why. I said that my wife, well, not my wife, my I don't know, my bigamist wife, my soon-to-be ex-wife, after the marriage would be a nod wife, broke up with me, and I would like to go to church, and I would like to repair the relationship, and she's pregnant, and I'm trying to I want to go be with her even though she hates me. And so please, hot girl in the car. I did not have a car at the time, because she took the car, and so I was walking, and so this hot girl in a car, college girl, like 10 years younger than me, picked me up, wanted to know if I needed a ride, and I was like, yes, take me so I can go and try to repair a relationship that was not going to be repairable, because it is important to me that I try to be a good father and husband. So she dropped me off at the church. Oh, so I arrive at the church, okay, and so I arrive there, and before I could get a few feet into the church, the pastor comes, and he wants to talk to me. He's like, sit down on the couch. We need to talk. And I was like, okay, yes, that's why I'm here. I come to try to repair my relationship with my pregnant wife, but I am also here to find Jesus and to talk and repent and all that good stuff that goes with, repairing relationships and having a kid and having a good marriage. And so we sit down and we start talking, and I'm crying. I'm confessing to everything I've ever done since I was 3 years old. I'm telling him about the time I ran away with a dirty diaper and wouldn't let the babysitter change my diaper. I'm bawling. He looks like, concerned. So I'm sitting down crying with the pastor, bawling my eyes out, telling him about how I'm a horrible person and a bigamist, and I need to change my life and repent and turn to Jesus, because I have a son on the way, and I love my wife, she was my wife as far as I was concerned, since my ex had already, we had been separated for several years, and she had a 1-year-old baby by someone else, because I know that, because I went to the hospital when she had it to sign the waiver that said I am not the father, so that a real father could sign the birth certificate saying he was the father. So anyway, so I'm there, I'm crying, I'm bawling my eyes out, and then I look, and I see a cop pull in the parking lot of the church. Now, when I see a cop and I'm somewhere, I know the situation, I'm not very quick at things, I'm pretty slow, but I knew right away they had called the cops, and I was not wanted at church. They did not want me to come to repent or to find Jesus or to repair my relationship, or to, they wanted me to leave, and I got the message, and I'm like, you called the cops, and then I went to get up, and he's like, just hang on, just sit back down, son, it's gonna be okay. And I'm like, no, it's not. You called the cops. I tried to come to church. I cried. I confessed to you. I said, I needed Jesus in my life, and you guys called the cops on me, so I'm just gonna leave. I can see when I'm not wanted. The cops did not see me get up and leave, but I saw them pull in the parking lot, and I thought it's time to just go back home. Coming to church was not a good idea, and so I left out the back exit of the church to go back home. But when I got out there was just woods. The cops were in front, there was woods in back. I'm like, okay, I would just take a shortcut home through the woods. So I'm taking a shortcut home through the woods, and my son is familiar with this area and the church, and so that's why I thought it'd be a great story to tell. And so I take a shortcut, I come out where there's a Walmart, and there's this road, and the next thing I know, it's my ex-wife's mom and some people, her brother and her brothers, and they are come flying by, speeding, honking, horn laid down all the way. and they're screaming, "There's the bigamist! We found the bigamist! Get him! Get the bad guy!" And so I run back into the woods. I'm petrified now because, you know, I'm thinking, man, I should have really went for a different ride. I should have told that hot girl in that car, that really nice car, who was like 10 years younger than me, who asked me if I wanted a ride, to like, let's go to a park or something. Yes, I would like a ride to the park. Do you want to come with me? Like, how are you doing? Yeah, I would love a ride. But I didn't. I told her I am heartbroken, I want to go repair a marriage. And then I told the pastor I was heartbroken, I repented, and now I'm running through the woods being chased down by the cops and parents and brothers who want to slay the bigamist. And so I didn't know this at the time, but I didn't know I was also being chased. But I had come to a place in the woods on the way back where it was a swamp. It was a big old lake swamp, and there were like spiders and ticks and cottonmouth snakes and everything you could think of, poison ivy, all the scary things you could think of that would be in a swamp and in the woods in Arkansas. And so I come up to this and I'm like, I hear the horn still honking. I didn't know. I'm like, I'm just got to get home. I would like to go home now. I should have never went to church. I should have just stayed home, or I should have took a ride with that girl. But I'm not a womanizer, or, you know, I was trying to do, you know, fix what I had messed up, not go start a new relationship that I would, you know, probably wasn't ready for. Although I really regret not taking that ride somewhere different. So there I am. So I just jump into the water. I swim through the swamp. I get to the other side. I'm still running. Apparently, my ex's brothers had chased me. They had stopped and they were chasing me. They came to the swamp water and were just like, no, we can't swim through that swamp. It's too much, too scary. It's a big swamp. I don't know where he went. He probably didn't go this way, because how could he? No one would swim. There's snakes right there. They're poisonous. There's death. They stopped at the swamp. They didn't know where I went. They didn't know that I had swam through the swamp. It was already on the other side, going through the woods at high rates of speed, getting cut up by thorns and poison ivy, and I had spider webs on my face, and I stepped on some things. Maybe a snake, but I don't know. So it started to get dark. And I'm like, okay, so I have the police coming this way. I have brothers coming this way. I have a mom circling, honking on her horn, flashing her lights, screaming, "Kill the bigamist." And I just want to go home and go to bed. I am very scared at this point, but that's okay. It's not your mom's fault. I told him. I said, it's my fault. I committed bigamy. I'm clearly the bad guy. And so, nothing against your mom. I loved your mom. I just wanted to repair. I was too late. I had done wrong. It was too late to repair. So I ended up, it got dark, and then I was able to somehow find a highway, a big highway that, well, it seemed big, and I had to wait for no cars to come and then sprint across that, hoping no one was guarding the highway. And then I was back in the woods again, and then I had to cut through more woods, and then I had one more road to cross to get to my apartment, and I scoped it out, and then I ran across. I got to my apartment, and I was safe. I was at Google. And then I went to work the next day, and your mom was there, and she was at work because we worked together at the same place. And she didn't ask how I got all the scars and scratches all over my face, or why I was, or all the bug bites, or why I looked like I had been through war, or I think she knew. She definitely probably knew. But then, you know, like a week later, coming home from work, the police finally got a warrant because I had committed bigamy, and then I went to jail and served my time for bigamy, which was 3 months. I was not granted bail, and that ex, who already had a baby by another man, and also the man who she had the baby by sorry, we'll have to edit that out. And so, anyways, the ex, when I went to court for bigamy, I didn't get bail. I got 3 months. It was great. I remember the detective. He was great. He said that, you know, I said, what am I going to do? I have a job. I have responsibilities. I have a baby on the way. He said, take a vacation. And so I did. I took a vacation. That was before my sentence. My sentence turned out to be 3 months. And so I took a 3-month vacation, the longest vacation I've ever taken. But it was good because I had a good time in there. I read the Bible. I had a Bible study. I hummed words like, everybody hurts. I was like, and it caught on. Like, before I knew it, everyone was walking around the jail humming, I can't hum very well, but they knew the song. Everybody hurts sometimes, and it caught on, and everybody who was hurt was walking around humming. Everybody hurts sometimes. So I think, and then I became a trustee in jail, which was good because I exercised in jail. I ran. I learned how to run, and I lost weight, and then I became a trustee. That was a pretty big accomplishment for me. I went back to get my GED and almost got it. I was one test away, but then I got out of jail, so I couldn't get my GED. I was pretty close, so I had to start that over. That wasn't good. But the GED teachers did say if I got out to contact him, and he would help me. And there was a detective I met in jail who I told him I cried and confessed on his shoulder too, and he shook my hand and he said, you know, all right, it's gonna be okay. I know you did some other things. You know, that's neither here nor there. We might bring charges, we might not. They didn't, so I was grateful for that. And so life in jail was pretty good. Everyone was nice to me. I tried to do the right thing. Your mom, I got my last paycheck from work. I signed it over to your mom. She came and picked it up. I'm like, here, have my money, use it for the new baby. And so when I got out of jail, I had no money, no one to pick me up. I had to walk, you know, like 20 miles to go work for an illegal immigrant for a while, until I could save up enough money